Twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, clouds bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Well, that's the way to start a graduation. Thanks to JJ and Treasurer. Please be seated. And good morning. It is with great pleasure that I welcome the families and friends of the class of 2021. For those of you tuning in virtually on behalf of the senior class, thank you for joining them on their special day. Now, let us begin Peninsula Catholic's commencement exercises. This year's salutatorian did not take the typical route to PC, having transferred in at the beginning of her junior year from Smithfield High School. However, she has made a big impact in her short time here. Lizzie has been on the swim team, winning the MVP last year, and many other accolades throughout her high school swimming career. She's been a loyal member of her class, having served as class secretary and working hard to help her peers during Junior-Senior Showdown and Spirit Week. This year, she was selected to sit on the Code of Academic Integrity Council. Lizzie has performed numerous acts of service in her parish, Immaculate Conception, to include Vacation Bible School and Sunday suppers. Her servant heart also led her to Project Linus, a nonprofit organization which provides new handmade blankets to children in need. Lizzie's humble nature brings with it a kindness and acceptance of others, and her Christ-like character does not go unrecognized by her peers. A member of the National Honor Society, Lizzie puts above and beyond effort into everything she does, as seen in her scholarly achievements. She sets her high expectations for herself in every endeavor and meets them because of her diligence, persistence, and positive attitude. With a GPA of 4.725, she will be attending the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill this fall, where she plans to study biology. I am pleased to introduce our salutatorian for the class of 2021, Elizabeth Zalou.
Good morning to all gathered here today on this special occasion. Family, friends, faculty, staff, and the graduating class of 2021. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Elizabeth Zalou, but you can just call me Lizzie. It is with great honor and privilege that I'm able to stand here today to welcome you all to the class of 2021's Salutatorian. This past year has been an especially difficult one that has asked us all to pause on our traditional everyday for the sake of forming a new normal. Nevertheless, we cannot lose sight of the outstanding and unforgettable things that each and every student sitting here today accomplished leading up to this moment. Each one of us has our own story, but I would like to set the scene by sharing a quick glimpse of my journey to becoming a knight. In the spring of 2019, I made the decision to transfer to Peninsula Catholic after shadowing a former student through the halls of the school. Everyone I met, each student, teacher, and staff member, was immediately so welcoming and inclusive. They each took their time to make sure I was enjoying my time visiting. I really felt a calling to make my choice official and transfer to PC. When the fall of 2019 finally came around, I was extremely nervous. I was the new quiet girl. Being a new student definitely was not easy, especially coming in as an upperclassman and joining a class of people who have already created life-lasting friendships years before I even walked into the scene. I remember the first time that I stepped into the school as a student. I was so intimidated that I didn't really speak to anyone. But even then, witnessing the comfortable interactions between my peers and their quick friendliness towards me, I was immediately reeled in, and this proved to me that PC is a place for everyone, no matter who you are or where you come from. Still, those first few weeks were pretty intimidating. For instance, when I walked into my fourth block honors calculus class, I was so nervous that I completely forgot how to do basic math. I remember going home wanting to drop out of the class, but I'm so glad I didn't. I learned so much by staying in the class, not just the math, but I learned to trust what I'm capable of. I also learned to force myself to accept challenges that used to make me feel uncomfortable, but eventually ended up providing me with some of the best memories of my high school career. These challenges also taught me to try new things, such as taking part in Junior-Senior Showdown and Spirit Week activities. Although we did not win the Junior-Senior Showdown last year, one thing that my fellow graduating seniors and I did gain was a sense of community. This thinking carried through for a couple more months and brought us to victory over the seniors during Spirit Week. Even though the class was split on who should take control and lead the class's activities, we pulled through and collaborated so well together that we were ultimately able to triumph and take home the Spirit Sword. The feeling of winning as a team was unforgettable, a moment captured in this one picture of us during the Spirit Week dance competition as our class cheered, smiled, and laughed. That is something I will never shake from my memory. Not only has our class accomplished so much collaboratively, we have also had some individual achievements that cannot go unrecognized. First, I would like to commend Sam Parsons on his recent accomplishment of winning first place in the 100-yard free at states this past year, as well as making the all-state team. Throughout his swimming career at PC, he has won many first-place prizes and even led the boys' team to win the Division II state championship. Madison Clark is also another spectacular athlete who has led her volleyball team to multiple state championships. And being named to first team for TCIS and Visa, both Madison and Sam have had their jerseys retired for all their accomplishments. Another person I commend is Abby White. Placing first at TCIS for the high jump, she continued her streak of victories at states. Because of her talent, she holds the record at PC for the high jump. Sharon Nee is another person that cannot go unrecognized. Although our school does not have a fencing team, she has gone to nationally ranked fencing competitions, which leaves me in awe of all that she has accomplished. Landon Kissel is also another outstanding athlete, as he's been a state champion in his weight class for wrestling. I would like to recognize Miles Teal, Carlton Canaday, Jaden Curry, and Evan Tanner. These 4 boys were essential members of the Knights basketball team, and this past year they made a huge accomplishment of runner-up in TCIS and making it through the first round of the Visa State Championship Tournament. This was the first time that this has happened since 1997, making their last season even more memorable. Lastly, I would like to commend the PC players and the amazing performances that they have continued to put on stage each year. Clayton, JJ, Cassie, Lindsay, Treasure, and Gabby, to name a few, have devoted so much of their time so that they could run a successful show. This past year, they put on The Little Mermaid and other smaller productions that went on throughout the school day. It's amazing how much time and effort that they put into their time at PC, and I cannot wait to see what they do in the future. This class, no matter what club or team that we were a part of, has always contributed to each other's own successes that has led them to this moment. Through our constant dedication, not only to the school and teachers, but to each other, we have pushed each other past boundaries that we are not used to. Each one of you should be commended for all your outstanding hard work and willingness to help each other. You all have bright futures ahead. I feel that none of us would really be here today without the help and constant support of our friends. One of my favorite parts of the school day was walking into my homeroom and talking with friends and teachers before the bell rang. Mornings were only one of the many times that we were able to socialize throughout the school day, but morning conversations always started off my day right. Every friend that we made during our time at PC always found some way to push us in the right direction by giving us advice, encouragement, and constant positivity in our lives. Almost every day, everyone's bright smiles and eyes brought such a radiance of good energy that always made the day better. Some peers of mine have always been there for everyone, no matter how close they were to others. Firstly, Sarah and Beth, who were always there for me from the beginning of my junior year to now, were two people that I saw every day who constantly uplifted not only me, but others. They created an atmosphere of inclusion and instantly invited anyone and everyone into the Fold of PC community because of their constant desire to make sure that not only me, but everyone around them was in a good mood. Of course, there are so many more peers that made a difference in our lives, and I thank each and every one of you. But our friends were not the only people who helped make our high school experience unforgettable. Teachers are one of the most valuable aspects to each one of our own successes. Although towards the end of the year, senioritis began to take many of us over, every teacher continued to push us and keep us on our feet to ensure that we would end our final year at PC students on a strong note. Mr. Palola and Mr. Winter were two teachers who gave us quite a bit of work that was not easy, but were ultimately extremely impactful. Although some of us did not appear to appreciate all that work on the surface, deep down, we truly did. Their lessons and assignments taught us how to manage time and help us to recognize that not everything in life will be handed to us. Mrs. Weezer, Mr. Penrod, and Dr. Wall are all teachers who constantly see the best in each student. Their classrooms were always filled to the brim with an uplifting and encouraging mood. My fellow peers and I always felt a sense of belonging, and I never once felt as though I was not going to enjoy the class. Although I did not get the chance to meet every teacher here at PC, their endless amount of work and effort put in to make sure that each student is successful cannot go unrecognized. Another person I would like to thank is Mr. Backen. To be honest, my application process for college did not run that smoothly because I didn't do enough research on how to actually apply and what was needed for each application. Nevertheless, Mr. Backen was always willing to help me and all of us. He would calm me down if I ever made a mistake, even if it meant emailing schools to get clarification on certain matters. I doubt other schools have as determined, hardworking counselors like Mr. Backen, and for that reason, I am forever thankful for what he has done for me and those around me. And Mrs. Franklin, thank you for always keeping our class in order and making sure that we got to have a great high school experience. Especially this year, due to COVID, so many traditions such as Junior Senior Showdown, Black and White, and Homecoming were canceled. However, you did whatever you could to make sure that each and every one of your students had a great school year. You helped make Spirit Week happen, prom, and also included smaller events that made up for what was lost. For instance, you allowed each grade level to sit together during lunch on certain days of the week in order to let us still socialize while being socially distanced. Each action that you took, no matter how small, really made an impact on our class for the better. I know I speak for each graduate here. I would like to thank our families for their constant support and encouragement throughout our high school experience. To my mom and dad, thank you for always giving me some of the best advice that I could ask for. Never once did you pressure me. You simply supported me. You always made sure that I was happy with where I was. To my sisters, Jackie, Sarah, and Michelle, thank you for answering my nonstop texts or my random phone calls to answer my questions. You all helped push me to accept challenges that I was too afraid to confront. Although at times you were probably irritated with me, I am thankful that you are all someone I could turn to. I can never thank you all enough. As a whole, every one of our families supported us along our high school journey. They made sure that we were happy, we were included, and that we made a difference, no matter how big it was. Thank you for all that you have done for us. As my speech comes to a close, I would like to take a minute to look at what the future holds. Throughout our time here at PC, we have grown not only physically, intellectually, and emotionally, but also spiritually. From the start of our day to the end, prayer was a constant aspect of our day that we could not leave out. It started us off on the right foot, allowing us to see the beauty in the day ahead, no matter what tasks lie in the class ahead. We carried our prayer life to our retreats, where we took a deeper look at ourselves and all that God has done for us throughout our lives. For instance, at our senior day of reflection, we looked back on our high school career and recognized the opportunity that God has given us in order to find ourselves. He has been there through every test, stressful day, and days where we do not feel complete to make sure that we do not lose sight of ourselves. Even on our worst days of high school, his presence was a constant reminder that we are here for a reason and that we should strive to walk in his steps. Throughout every step, he has guided us through our own journeys, but this journey is not quite over. God has a plan for each and every one of you. Over the next several years, many of us will be attending colleges, while some will join the ranks of the military or the workforce. No matter our individual paths forward as we leave here today, we will all be beginning a new life completely different than the ones we live today. We will make new friends, new memories. We will try new things that will change our lives. Then, after these next several years or so, some of us will be working on our careers, graduate degrees, or even growing our families. May we remember that each step in our lives, God is right beside us, being supportive as he leads us in the right direction. Although we are about to step into a new world full of adventures, I hope we will always hold PC close to our hearts. May we always remember the constant support, friendship, love, and sense of community that has carried us through these past 4 years. 10 years from now, as we look back on our high school experience, we will recognize exactly what PC has done for us and use its impact on us for the better. As each one of you depart to start a new chapter, remember that each experience and each memory from your time at PCHS has made you, you. And lastly, never forget, once you're a knight, you're always a knight. Thank you.
At this time, Mrs. Franklin and I would like to present Peninsula Catholic High School's scholarships and awards. First, the Walter Gannon Diocesan Scholarship. Through a charitable trust from Mr. Walter Gannon and in consultation with Bishop DiLorenzo and the Office of Advancement, the Diocese of Richmond is awarding one $1,500 scholarship to a senior in each of the 8 high schools in our diocese. This scholarship is to be used to defray academic costs for the first year of college. The student, selected by the principal, must be deserving of this award because of his or her high level of scholarship and concern for others. This year's Walter Gannon Diocesan Scholarship goes to Jalen Jones. The late Didier Hammond, Mr. Hammond, PC's past president's eldest son, was a young man who loved the sciences. The wonder of this discipline fascinated him. After his death in 1997, the Student Council Association established the Didier Hammond Outstanding Science Student Scholarship Award in his honor. This award is given to a graduating senior who has shown a strong interest in any area of the sciences and will further his or her knowledge in the sciences through higher education. This year's award goes to Jack Pachatic. At the old school in downtown Newport News, where PC stood until 1994, the Dewey Decimal System was king, and students pored over volumes of encyclopedias and actual books with pages. Today, our students are able to access the information through a network of computers, databases, and yes, even still some books. For over 20 years, from 1986 to 2008, at the heart of all this was one faculty member who hooked the students on researching for their academic studies and reading for pure pleasure, Mrs. Linda Cones. Mrs. Cones retired in 2008. In her honor, she will not be forgotten because her good friends, colleagues, and students have established the Linda Cones Literary Award to be given each year to a senior who, in the opinion of the English teachers and the media specialist, has demonstrated a deep appreciation for literature and the use of the Media Center as a resource. This year's recipient, Nikki Lennon. The Sister Martha Joseph Mathematics Award was established in honor of a very talented longtime teacher at Peninsula Catholic High School. This award goes to the senior who most exemplifies the traits valued by Sister Martha Joseph: excellence, diligence, the ability to apply concepts to real-world situations, and the ability to communicate mathematically. This year, the award goes to William Robertson. This year, with the rebirth of the band program, Mr. Stanley is awarding 2 band awards. The first is a new award for Peninsula Catholic, the Patrick S. Gilmore Band Award. The Patrick S. Gilmore Band Award was introduced in 1994 in honor of the legendary bandmaster and impresario. Patrick Gilmore and his band joined General Burnside's expedition to North Carolina in the Civil War. Gilmore also played for every president of his day, including Abraham Lincoln. This award honors outstanding high school band students and their achievements and commitment to the band. The Gilmore Award this year goes to Clayton Ives. Our second band award is the John Philip Sousa Award. Since 1954, thousands of high schools have honored their top band students with the John Philip Sousa Award. This award was created with the cooperation of Helen Sousa Albert and Priscilla Sousa, daughters of the famous composer and bandmaster. The pinnacle achievement in a high school band program, the Sousa Award recognizes outstanding dedication and superior musicianship. The award has become a nationwide symbol of excellence in musical achievement. At Peninsula Catholic, this band award is given to the top performing senior in recognition of the very finest caliber of musicianship dedication to the formal music program. This year's John Philip Sousa Award goes to J.J. Aldrich. In honor of our great teacher, mentor, and friend, Peninsula Catholic established the Donald E. Cox Memorial Theater Arts Award. Mr. Cox first arrived at Peninsula Catholic in 2005, and from that moment on, he put together the PC players who did 3 things: eat, sleep, and rehearse. From the incredibly moving Diary of Anne Frank to the very weird and wacky Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, to The Man of La Mancha, Fiddler on the Roof, and Camelot, Mr. Cox pulled the best out of our students and made actors out of young men and women who had no idea that an actor lay within them. He also highly valued all those who worked behind the stage with lighting, sound, props, and all the other little details that is rarely noticed, but makes the performance magical. While his physical presence will be missed, we know Mr. Cox is always with us. Through our students and their accomplishments in drama, we honor his legacy of building our theater arts program from the ground up. We also honor him by selecting that senior who best exemplifies Mr. Cox's idea of what a little talent and a lot of commitment can inspire on and off stage. This year's Donald E. Cox Memorial Theater Arts Award goes to Clayton Ives. Mark S. Fernandez was a religion teacher at Peninsula Catholic High School from 1993 to 1998. Though his time at PC was short, his influence was strong. He was truly loved by his students. His classes were known to be very active, student-friendly, and intellectually challenging. Mark, who was only 42, died unexpectedly on August 20th, 1998, just days short of beginning his fifth year at PC. In 1999, the Mark S. Fernandez Spirit Award was established in memory of this outstanding teacher of religion. This award goes to a male senior and female senior whose spirit, love for life, and faith in God mirrors that of Mark Fernandez. This year, the members of the theology department selected two seniors who have been unfailing servants and truly have always tried to follow the path that God guides them on and in sharing their faith and love with others. They have committed themselves to this noble duty without expecting any honors or glory. This year's outstanding female religion student and recipient of the Mark S. Fernandez Spirit Award for 2021 is Sarah Youssef. And this year's outstanding male religion student and recipient of the Mark S. Fernandez Spirit Award is Brendan Domsel. The Colonel John King Citizenship Award is presented to an outstanding young woman and young man from the 2021 graduating class. Criteria for this award was established in honor of Colonel King, a longtime supporter of Peninsula Catholic, and selection is based on academic achievements, service, devotion to school, patriotism, citizenship, and character. This year's female recipient of the Colonel John King Citizenship Award is Sharon Nee. This year's male recipient of the Colonel John King Citizenship Award is J.J. Aldrich. Congratulations to all our scholarship and award recipients.
Our valedictorian not only distinguished in academics, but was also very involved in his 5 years at Peninsula Catholic. In fact, it seems that most of Will's time has been spent in the water, in service to others, or in the room. Athletically, this senior has been involved in several different teams, including basketball and baseball, but his time in the water as a swimmer, serving on the A team and as team captain, helped us bring home a state championship his junior year. The team worked as a Red Cross licensed lifeguard at Two Rivers Marina. As an Eagle Scout, 137 merit badges, leading is a trait that is in his life. He's worked arduously as part of the Student Council Association, serving as president his senior year. He helped new students understand what it meant to be a PC Knight while working as a head student ambassador. In his community, Youth Commission. He has been involved in the Corps, International Youth Advisory Board. Will outwardly share his faith as a member of the liturgical team, and he was an altar server for many years at his parish, Our Lady of Mount Carmel, and continues to be involved with their Breathe ministry. It's no year, 2017 to 2020, Will was presented the Pope Francis Service Award for volunteering over 250 hours each year. Early on, Will set his sights on being valedictorian of his class. To achieve this goal, Will pushed himself to take the most difficult course load, including 12 advanced placement and dual enrollment courses. As if that weren't challenging enough, Will opted to take an online multivariable differential calculus course through Stanford's Pre-Collegiate University for fun. Although he later admitted it wasn't that much fun. He was also involved in the University of Pennsylvania's Wharton Global Youth Program, where he placed second in a COVID-19 Future of the Business World project. This young man's ambition and determination to succeed has paid off, as evidenced by his 4.728 GPA. Attending Duke University in the fall, Will plans to major in economics with a finance concentration. Will's achievements are only matched by his humility and willingness to help others. He is quite simply a gentleman. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you this year's valedictorian for the class of 2021, William Robertson.
You know, they say to imagine the audience in your underwear, but I feel really awkward right now, thinking of that right now. Let's start. Good morning, Ms. Franklin, Mr. Flanagan, Mr. Backen, Dr. Wall, friends, family, and my fellow classmates of the class of 2021. Let's give one more round of applause and congratulations for our graduates. Wow, my fellow seniors, what an interesting year it has been. And I'm very, very sure that we will leave the faculty and staff with some very, very interesting memories of 2021. Figuring out how to begin this speech, Ms. Franklin kept on saying to me, attention getter, attention getter, attention getter. Here, one guy came to mind, Matt Smith and his Michael Jackson dance. Wish we could put that spotlight on him right now. See, Michael Jackson once sang, if you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make that change. Taking a look at the past 4 years, we can see how we, the class of 2021, made our small part of the world a better place through our accomplishments, trials, and fun times. Through trial and tribulation, good times and bad, we learned 2 key lessons about being agents of change. The first of these lessons is to find what you are passionate about and immediately involve yourself in such. The second is pursuing your passions will lead to greatness in your life and enable you to change the world around you. Although we followed these throughout high school, we didn't become agents of change overnight. We had a lot to learn first. So, what did we learn over the past 4 years? Taking a trip down memory lane, class of 2021, kind of has a good ring to it, by the way. We can easily feel that our high school is really divided into two parts, before COVID and during COVID. Rewinding back to the start, pre-COVID, as we closed our middle school chapter, where 9 plus 10 equals 21, the water bottle flip faded out, and Snapchat emerged over the messaging app Kik. I realized in 8th grade, one definition, tennis. We had to figure out where to go to class in a new school without getting lost. How 15 guys could sit around a single cafeteria table and not make a mess, and how we were supposed to get involved. We trekked ahead into the unknown, expanded our interest, and began to ask new questions. We took leadership roles for the first time and developed our individual characters. We started Freshman Baby Bio, where here we learned of Miss Ellis's deep love of cats and how to properly fold lab aprons just the right way. She is very much present with us today, looking down upon us, and I know very much that she would be proud of us all right now. During this time, we also developed our passions and really came to understand what we cared about individually and together. As freshman year came to a close, we had grown closer together. Mr. Palola, did you notice I had to put in a transition sentence there? Made sure to put that in just for you. I made sure to include that. We took a literal leap of faith at our team building day as sophomores. We also took another as we grew closer to Christ and family for our sophomore retreat. This was when Miss Whitchurch welcomed us to our first college level class. Naive, we walked into AP Euro, not knowing just how extensive the history of Europe really was. And to be honest, we left still not knowing the extensiveness of European history. Smooth sailing after that AP exam, we heard one last hoorah from Mr. Penrod, finishing up as things fell apart with Holden Caulfield and the catcher in the rye. We ended school year that year looking to a fun summer. I could gladly say that we were halfway through high school. Now it was junior year. We learned that we had a lot to improve at football, and I still firmly believe, as well as 10 of my classmates, that we were robbed of that showdown dance. We made our memories at Cairo for our Eurostep conga line. Shout out to Miles, Jaden, Carlton, and Darian. Each step of the way, we could see how our faith was explosive, and we learned of our true love for God and our neighbors. We also learned the struggles of the SAT, what the hardest year of high school meant to all of us, and a sole offer, Eric Fauner, and the dangers of not using the Turabian format, thanks to Miss Hatch. We had another great spirit week. Brennan hit some really clutch soccer shots. We won the Spirit Sword, and then we decided to throw a rager in the boys' bathroom during homecoming that I'm sure all the teachers will still remember for years to come. I'd say that we had a great time being together. Then came what felt like the second half of high school, March 13th, 2020. We celebrated what felt like was freedom, a 2-week pre-extension and pre-game to spring break, until it turned into spring break itself. And then it turned into summer. During this time, we all grew individually, annoyed our parents, tried to live life as normally as we could with face masks and social distancing, while of course staying safe all the same. TikTok trends took over our lives. All the guys sent for Sarah Cameron, and Joe Exotic became our primary idol. We became accustomed to online courses. Friday became a fun day off with the 4-day schedule, and soon enough, we started talking about returning in person for senior year. Next thing you knew, it was August again. The insurmountable effort of the faculty and staff to ensure returning for senior year surely needs to be praised. Making sure that we could have as much of a typical year as possible, senior year pretty much blew by. However many times we turned around going the wrong way in the hall, backed up while eating lunch the second that we saw Miss Franklin come through those gym doors, or scrambled to an X on the bleachers, we found ourselves in our own ways to make this year memorable. Eating outside and together in the gym as a class, opening up to one another as we became the seniors, and overcoming limitations are a few to name. We slowly received our college acceptances, starting with Brianna Pegram at Longwood. Starting off, the famous one clap salutes. Let's do one more one clap salute right now for the class of 2021. Then we got excited with each person telling us they got the vaccine. And finally came College Declaration Day 1 month ago. Now this brings us to today, our graduation day. Today, May 29th, 2021, 55 of my fellow seniors and I will embark upon a new journey. We exit into a nation as the new generation of graduates, seeking our newest passions and our new lives, ready to achieve greatness. What is going on around us today? A nation on the edge of reopening into the summer, the modern age of technology and opportunity. We are ready to adapt at whatever the world throws at us. See, Dickens once said, "It was the best of times, it was the worst of times." And while he wasn't talking about high school, we did enjoy the best of times, and we pretty much survived the worst. We learned what we love to do and what we are especially passionate about. We learned what the definition of greatness is to each of us, and looking back, why the class of 2021 is and will always be great. Looking to the future, each of us should go out to strive to continue to achieve such greatness. Even when terminology such as sus and sheesh disappear, and although we won't see Smithers lunging over mats yelling -5, Mr. Backen ensuring, "Oh guys, it will be all right, don't worry," or hearing the words of 6 feet, 6 feet, 6 feet, as Dr. Walt incentivizes us with snacks as we walk to class. We are ready for the future. We are a class of artists and actors, state champions, scholars, and volunteers. We have performed just over 6,700 collective hours of service and spent almost as many hours on stage. We have won state championships in 4 different sports, had the most signings ever for athletics at PC, and 2 jersey retirements. Congrats to Madison and Sam. We clearly have found our passions, class of 2021, and these allow us to develop our greatness even further, to become future leaders, to emerge as agents of change. This couldn't be possible, though, without a number of very important people. Thank you for the teachers. Not only could we learn without you all, but many of us would not have made the relationships with our classmates and had the unique experiences that we did in class without you. Thank you to our staff who are behind the scenes, running the school, ensuring that we had no worries. Thank you to the clergy for keeping us on our path of faith. Thank you to God and the Holy Spirit for giving us such great opportunity to succeed. Mr. Backen and Ms. Strickland, thank you for helping us on our college search and ensuring that our high school was smooth. Ms. Franklin, thank you. Every trip to your office included. Thank you to the maintenance crew, ensuring our messes are cleaned up and keeping us safe, especially during these times. And a special shout out to Mr. Frank. I saw you every day during my independent study with a spray bottle, ready to disinfect, going to war into the bathrooms. To our helpful and loving adults, thank you for always supporting us on our journey. Mom and Dad, love you all. To our older siblings, thank you for going before us and giving us helpful advice always. Thank you, Nina and Paula, for this. You know what you did. Thank you also for our younger siblings. Thank you for pushing us to be the best role models. From now on, you, younger siblings, have to take our advice. And of course, thank you for each of my fellow graduates for always encouraging your fellow classmate right next to you to achieve their own version of greatness. Thank you, class of 2021, and I can gladly say that we made it. Let us leave Peninsula Catholic High School today, remembering that we are ready for greatness, and that the way to achieve it is to follow our passions. This class is filled with agents of change, and I am proud to be a part of it. Congratulations.
Good morning.
It is my pleasure to introduce this morning's commencement speaker, Mr. Joe Flanagan. Joe Flanagan is very familiar with the discipline and rigor that comes with attending a Catholic school. He graduated from Archbishop Alter High School in Dayton, Ohio in 1969. Following high school, he attended Ohio University in Athens, Ohio. In 1980, he made his way to Hampton Roads to co-host an evening feature story show called PM Magazine at WTKR TV3. 3 years later, Mr. Flanagan moved to WVEC TV13, where he had a successful career for 31 years reporting on the news, weather, sports, and much more. He was best known for a series called Joe's Job, where he visited over 1,400 businesses to find out what it was like to walk in their shoes for a day. During the holidays, he wanted to be part of honoring our military, which brought him to produce and co-host a special called Navy Christmas. This year will be the 36th annual holiday salute. Joe Flanagan and his wife, Cindy Butler from Hampton, established their home in Virginia Beach, where they raised 3 children, Allie, Patrick, and Addie. They are parishioners at Star of the Sea Catholic Church in Virginia Beach, and just last week, they expanded their family with the arrival of their first grandchild, Brody Alexander. Without further ado, please join me in welcoming Mr. Joe Flanagan.
Thank you so much. You even have the name of the grandchild. I am impressed. I received this, thank you. I received this wonderful bling the night of your auction. Principal Jenny was nice enough to arrange one for me. So I thought I'd wear school colors while I'm up here. And I understand everybody in our live audience gets to go home with one of these today, right? Oh. I tried. It's good enough for Oprah and it's good enough for Ellen, but not me. I am so excited to be here. Congratulations to the graduates. I just want to give you one big kiss. Not that kind of kiss, KISS, which stands for keep it short and sweet. And it also stands for keep it simple, stupid, but we won't go there. The shortest commencement speech I ever heard of was one done by the famous British Prime Minister Winston Churchill. In 1941, he addressed a graduating class and simply got up to the podium and said, "Never give in, never give up." And he sat down. Fast forward to 1981, and I was a commencement speaker at First Colonial High School in Virginia Beach. And I told that story to them. Never, never, never give up. Well, years later, much to my surprise, a Virginia Beach police officer approached me, and I thought, what have I done? But he said, "Joe, I was in that class in 1981 sitting there while you said those words, and let me tell you, my father had just passed away from cancer. He said the last place he wanted to be was at his high school graduation." Wow. He said, "My dad was a World War II veteran, and when you mentioned Winston Churchill, I perked up. And when I heard those words, never, never, never give up, it felt like my dad was speaking to me." He said, "It literally turned me around that morning, and I started to get it together and live my life." I still carry that police officer's business card with me. That was pretty powerful stuff, as you can imagine. Well, the reason I'm here this morning is because of that great live auction that you had a few weeks ago, and I got to be one of the co-hosts in that auction, and you raised lots of money, I heard. Good on you. Well, I made the comment during that live auction that I don't think I would have been as successful in my 42 years in local TV newsrooms if it hadn't been for my Catholic education. Principal Jenny heard that, and she pounced on me with her talons. I mean, she politely invited me to come speak here this morning, and I'm grateful because I have sort of been a professional storyteller in my 42 years in broadcasting. It's been my life, and I never shy away from a chance to tell more stories. I love it. And I've also loved my Catholic education. As I look back, nothing but fond memories. Second grade, Sister Angeline, she let me play the role of the priest as we second graders practiced our first communion. I got to distribute the artificial hosts on the tongues. That's the way we did it back then. To all my classmates, I felt way cool. Sixth grade, it wasn't fun, it was sad. That's when President John F. Kennedy was assassinated in Dallas, Texas, and our principal got on the loudspeaker and led every classroom in prayer for a long time. Sad year. But then there was high school, and you mentioned my high school, Archbishop Alder High School in Dayton, Ohio, actually in Kettering, Ohio. What a terrific school. It was brand new when our freshman class came in, their first time they had all 4 grades. And it's the first time I heard 2 words, school spirit. And the upperclassmen were going to make sure the lowerclassmen got it. And they really drilled the whole idea of school spirit into us. And see, I'm still affected by school spirit. I get it. You got to have it. Well, we were a terrific school back then and had a wonderful football team, which I was a part of every fall. So raise your hand if you're a football player in here, or even if you're a parent who played football back in high school. In my situation, I was a middle linebacker and I was pretty small. And by senior year, my best friend was the star middle linebacker, 6'2", 225 pounds, recruited by every college in the country, and I had to beat that guy out for a starting position. Needless to say, it wasn't going to happen. As hard as I tried, it just wasn't happening. So I paused and said a prayer. Lord, if I can't make it on this football team, just accept the pain and torture that I'm going through as a simple sacrifice. Amen. Wow. 4th game of the season, my best friend, superstar middle linebacker, is hurt. Our biggest game of the year coming up, who goes in to replace the middle linebacker but Small Fry Joe? It was played at the University of Dayton football stadium, the 8th ranked team in the state of Ohio, a tough team from Belmont High School. We won the game. We became the 5th ranked team in the state of Ohio then. I intercepted a pass, and crazy, like the movie Rudy, I was carried off the field on the shoulders of my teammates. And you don't think I got it? The power of prayer to go from that summer to that fantastic ending. And at the football banquet, I won the Spirit Award. Congratulations to our 2 Spirit Awards here this morning. I totally relate. So that's the brief background of my Catholic education. After Ohio University, I was set to hit the road as a broadcast journalist. And I had one eye on career things, but because of my background, had another eye on people and fairness and faith. And my boss saw that. He selected me to be part of this new project, a holiday special called Navy Christmas. We flew over to the Mediterranean and flew over to the Arabian Sea and caught up with the Norfolk-based ships and did stories on the sailors and Marines that were away on long, lonely holiday deployments. That first show aired on Christmas Eve, 58 minutes long with no commercials, and you can imagine what a hit it was in an area like Hampton Roads with so much military. The program still goes on, and even though I'm retired, I'm invited back to make a cameo appearance, so I'm still on Channel 13 at least once a year, but very rewarding. I also started that series, Joe's Job. Over time, we did 1,500 jobs in that series. Butchers, bakers, candlestick makers. I'd go out and do a job for a day and come back and report on it, and people loved it. I'm asked, what was the best job? And I say my own. But the most popular, and I'll say the best, was the drum major for Norfolk State University. I think they called me Commander Groove at the time, or Commander Soul. Actually went out on the field at halftime, did the performance with the band and the drum majors. It was just great. Worst job, my dad's, and my grandfather's, and my great-grandfather's, and my great-great-grandfathers. They all were in the family meatpacking business in Ohio. I tried it for a week in college. That was it. Tried it for a day as a reporter doing the story. Plenty. All done. But I sure did love that broadcast career. Okay, keeping it short and sweet, one more story. I have a classmate from Alder High School days who also went on to college with me named Larry Connor. Remember that name, everybody in here, Larry Connor. You're going to hear about Larry in February because Larry Connor gets to blast off from Kennedy Space Center and travel to the International Space Station. My good buddy. He is part of the first all-civilian crew to go up to the International Space Station. Yes, he's made lots of money in his lifetime and he has to pay lots of money, but he's going. Larry was president of our fraternity back in college, Sigma Phi Epsilon. I was vice president. Our dads came down for Dad's Weekend and Larry addressed all the dads. I'll never forget, as Larry's talking as only Larry could talk, my dad, sitting next to me, is giving me these elbows. You need to learn how to talk like that guy. That guy is going places. And he called it. He sure is going places. Now get this. 3 weeks ago, Larry partnered with a company that owns a submersible. And he got in this little tiny submersible and traveled for 4 hours to the deepest part of the Pacific Ocean, the Mariana Trench near Guam, 36,201 feet down, to do research and study and just be the adventurer that he is. 4-hour return ride back. NBC News did a story on it, and there's Larry on television saying, well, consider if you lived in a house and 90% of your house was in the basement, but the door was locked and you never went down there. Well, that's kind of the way I looked at this. I really wanted to go down and see how much more of our earth is underwater. Fascinating. And Shepard Smith, the NBC anchor, said, Larry will become the first human to ever travel that deep into an ocean and go that high in space in one 12-month period. Oh, and the cool thing about Larry, he never lost his people connection. On his stationery, I love this, at the bottom left-hand side, it says, do the right thing. And on the other side, it says, people matter. So good on you, Larry Connor. And again, February 1st, they're supposed to launch. I hopefully will be down there at Kennedy Space Center cheering my buddy on. Good man, great guy. And oh, the stories. And you all have stories, graduating ladies. And you all have stories, graduating gentlemen. You've only just begun to tell your stories. And they are going to be great stories because you've had this foundation. Challenged intellectually and developed spiritually. It makes all the difference. And the world is waiting, and you can't get out there and influence the world soon enough. Boy, do we ever need you. So one more time, congratulations, good luck, go get them, and remember, never, never give up. Thank you.
We have a token of appreciation for Mr. Flanagan. Thank you for all your wise words and, of course, your stories. And thank you for supporting Catholic education and Peninsula Catholic. Thank you so much. This one? The other one. Sorry. There you go.
In 1910, the very first graduating class of St. Vincent de Paul School consisted of just 3 young women. Today, we are honoring the 56 young women and young men who comprise the 111th graduating class of what is now Peninsula Catholic High School. As the school counselor for these graduates, it has been my pleasure to have had the opportunity to work with the class of 2021, and it is my honor to share some of their accomplishments with you all today. The average GPA for this graduating class is 3.66, with 23 students achieving a GPA of 4.0 or higher, and 24 members of the class having been inducted into the National Honor Society. Members of the class averaged 4.5 college applications per student, and those applications resulted in 159 college acceptances to 69 different institutions in 22 different states and 1 in the nation of Canada. 33 members of this class will be moving on to colleges within the Commonwealth of Virginia, with 8 graduates attending our most popular destination, Virginia Tech. 4 graduates each will be attending the College of William & Mary and Virginia Commonwealth University, and we will have multiple students matriculating on to Christopher Newport, Old Dominion, Roanoke, and Thomas Nelson within the Commonwealth. The other members of the class of 2021 will also be moving beyond Virginia, with graduates moving on to institutions in Alabama, Arizona, California, Florida, Georgia, New York, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and Canada to continue their education. This class consists of 10 graduates who will be scholar athletes in college, 4 graduates who will be taking their talents to a fine and performing arts institution, 2 members who will be attending an HBCU, and 3 graduates choosing to enlist in a branch of the United States Armed Forces. This class of 56 ambitious graduates have had their excellence recognized and rewarded by colleges throughout the country as well. And this may be best evidenced by the fact that the class of 2021 has been awarded just under $3 million in scholarship money. The complete listing of their colleges and awards can be found in your program. These graduates are not only outstanding students, but they are outstanding people as well. And while the pandemic has limited their opportunity to perform service to their communities, they have still completed over 6,700 hours of volunteer service over their high school careers. Graduates, this is the part of this summary of your past 4 years where I try and think of something optimistic or hopeful and profound to sort of sum up last year, the last 4 years, the last 18 years, plus everything that's coming next. And that would be easy, but what I will tell you instead is the last piece of advice I gave you the other day, so that if nothing else, your parents, your friends, your family, your grandparents, everybody who is watching today will get this advice as well. And that is to celebrate. Celebrate what today is. Celebrate who you have become. Celebrate because you have the occasion and the opportunity to celebrate. And that is something none of us have had nearly enough of over the past year. So may God continue to bless you and protect you as you go. Good luck. Thank you for everything. We are very proud of you. Congratulations and celebrate.
Well, you know I can't let you guys go without one little lecture. So before we get to the actual purpose of today, presenting diplomas to you all, I did want to take a moment to speak for the faculty and staff of Peninsula Catholic and tell you, as Mr. Batkin just did, how amazingly proud we are today of each and every one of you. For some, your journey at PC lasted just 1 year, but despite everything, it was a good one for Andrew, Kana, Maddie, and Zachary. Then there are the veterans of this class, starting as 8th graders way back when. Callahan, Landon, Caleb, Ira, Sam, Jack, William, and Libby. Ah, Libby. And as the faculty and staff think about the last several years with this group of 56 funny, talented, intelligent, and sometimes exasperating PC Knights, they wonder, where has the time gone? Will and Lizzie have reminded you of last-minute dance practices, athletic accomplishments, Tony-worthy Broadway performances, a showdown loss. Yes, secretly, I thought you were robbed. Matt's moonwalk, a Spirit Week victory, a Hoko frenzy, broken up by Dr. Wall, as I recall, and how you spent time in quarantine by binge watching Tiger King and making your TikTok videos. And while this year was in many ways not what you wanted, you helped make it as good as it could be. You didn't sulk, you didn't complain too terribly much. In fact, I dare say you actually rejoiced when you discovered you would be allowed to come back to school last August to be with your friends and your teachers. And I can only thank God, the diocese, and the faculty and staff for letting that happen. So please give a round of applause for everybody who worked so hard to bring us back. And one thing is for sure, you certainly learned the importance of this community and what it means to you as no other class that has gone before you. You, the class of 2021, were as resilient as a group of young people could ever be expected to be. And I knew you would somehow thrive this year when you refused to be defined by the year of COVID. And you made that statement right away when you modeled your senior t-shirt after Coca-Cola Classic. Never forget, you are classic. And no matter where you go, you'll remember PC, not by the field you played on, the hallways you walked down, usually the wrong way this year, or the classrooms you learned in, or the stage you performed on, but by these shared memories and so many more, and the friendships forged for them, for you, that will last a lifetime. Though it's not easy to tell you goodbye, there is comfort in knowing that we are releasing the class of 2021 into the tender care of our Father, who will be the lamp for your feet and the light to your path, who will shine on you and bless you with his favor and peace. This is a bittersweet moment for our parents who are facing a life-changing transition. Our graduates are transitioning from PC students to PC alumni and venturing into a world in great need of their skills, intelligence, passion, and compassion. For some of our families with a 2021 graduate, this transition means the end of their time as a PC high school parent or guardian. I'd especially like to note those families who seem to have been around for forever. The Kissel, Rivera, and Robertson families who have been here since 2015, 13, and 14 respectively, who today graduate their third and last PC night. No more tuition payments to PC, yay. All of us at Peninsula Catholic would like to honor these and all of our graduating families whose generous gifts of emotional, spiritual, and financial support in the name of Catholic education is reflected in the potential of the graduates in front of us today. If you are a family with your last or only student graduating from PC today, please stand so we can welcome you into the PC alumni family. Before we move on, I would be remiss if I didn't do some thanking on behalf of the class of 2021. Events like baccalaureate and graduation do not happen overnight. They take months of planning. And this year, as you well know, the plan was an ever-moving target even up to this week. But with flexibility and determination, we have arrived at this, the big day. So please take a look at the last page of your program, and please help me to thank all those listed with a big round of applause. And now, the moment we have been waiting for. Seniors, are you ready? Really? Oh, okay. Mr. Backen, would you please assist me in presenting the diplomas to the senior class of Peninsula Catholic High School?
Please note in your program that many of our students are members of honor societies, as can be distinguished by their tassels, hoods, and cords. We also have another distinction worth noting. We have two graduates who had a relative as a past graduate of St. Vincent Peninsula Catholic, which is marked with a knight shield in the program. And now it is time. The following 56 students have completed all requirements established by the Commonwealth of Virginia and the Catholic Diocese of Richmond, and are therefore eligible for graduation at this time. Graduates, please come forward and accept your diploma as your name is called. John William Aldridge, Jr. Seohyun Alicia Bay. Alicia has completed her senior year online and joins us to celebrate virtually from South Korea. Congratulations, Alicia. August Theodore Bosco. Patrick Robert Belbin. A legacy graduate, Patrick is receiving his diploma from his grandfather, the Honorable Robert Curran, St. Vincent class of 1953, and his mother, Mary Belbin, Peninsula Catholic class of 1987. Mia Guizzi Bercasio. Taylor Elizabeth Bowman. Andrew Michael Boyd. Efren Cabrera. Carlton Allen Canaday. Callahan James Carey. Madison Elise Clark. Jaden Elijah Curry. Kana Jonay Davidson. Brendan Thomas Domzel. Alicia Michelle Escorcia Daza. William Francis Felix. Ariana Guerrero Alvarado. Val Gia Kingsley Ho. Kingsley completed his senior year online and joins us to celebrate virtually from Atlanta this morning. Congratulations, Kingsley. Sung Jae Wong. Clayton William Ives. Jalen Simone Jones. Ian Patrick Kenny. Ian completed his senior year online and joins us to celebrate virtually from Suffolk this morning. Congratulations, Ian. Landon Edward Kissel. Madeline Veronica Lally. Gabriella Page Lehman. Sandra Nicole Lennon. Darian Alfredo Lynch. Caleb Tyler McIntosh. Cassandra Jane Madden. Elizabeth Margaret McCarthy. Zachary Hunter Moore. Ira Shane Morales. Treasure Diamond Nelson. Sharon Nee. Thomas Edward Overby IV. Zachary Thomas Osman. Gabriella Dorina Palmieri. Gabriella completed her senior year online and joins us to celebrate virtually from Newport News. Congratulations, Gabriella. Samuel Wade Parsons. Brianna Marie Pegram. A legacy graduate, Brianna is receiving her diploma from her mother, Beth Pegram, Peninsula Catholic class of 1992. Alejandro Pinedo. Jack Alexander Junte Pachadik. Christina Ann Rivera. William Edward Robertson. Lindsay Grace Runyon. Dustin Michael Smith. Matthew John Smith. James William Spiegel III. Amy Isabel Strickland. Evan O'Farrell Tanner. Miles Jalen Teal. Elliot Noah Walker. Elizabeth Grace Wharton. Abigail Maria White. Syra Catherine Razia Youssef. Itza Chow. Elizabeth Lee Zalou.
Would all the graduates please rise? On behalf of myself and the faculty and staff, it is my privilege to present to you the 2021 graduated class of Peninsula Catholic High School. And now, please join Cassie Madden and Lindsay Runyon in singing the alma mater printed in your program.
Hail to thee, our alma mater, praise for blue and white. Ever loyal to Peninsula Catholic, onward in the fight. Faith and courage is our motto, ever it shall be. We, the students of Peninsula Catholic, strive for victory.